look, before we get into it, Escape from New York remake, and it's a question mark because news as we were breaking through this story today, later on in the day, is saying that this may be a no go actually. But for right now, they've got one filmmaker who's previously was attached was the Wolfman director, the current Wolfman that looks pretty interesting. That's coming out from Bloomhouse in the next week or two. But he had been previously attached to the Universal monster, which he parted ways with, ultimately to return. So there's a good chance that since he did that with Wolfman, he may come back to Escape from New York. Also, the two gentlemen out with Radio Silence, two big filmmaking collectors responsible for the Scream sequels and Abigail, which, if you haven't seen Abigail, it was a very good concept movie. Somehow I think it got lost in the shuffle, but it was extremely interesting. So I kind of like that film. So if you want to go back and give it a shot, but they were attached to the project in 2022. And as of last year, they confirmed eventually they parted ways from that. And then there's the filmmaker Robert Rodriguez. And this is where we're going to get on our knees and pray here because I don't want to see Robert Rodriguez do this movie because I don't know if his tone's gonna work with it. But he's been trying currently to get this material out. So, all in all, what do you guys think and everything? Is this one of those? Because I personally thought when John Carpenter did Escape from Los Angeles, it was like y- y- you just probably should have left this alone. It's one of those films that just worked in 1981, even though the film's brought into 1997, and it kind of maybe New York did look like that in 1997. I don't kind of remember, but it might have. But
Giuliani was the mayor, so
but do you guys think this is one of those films that they should reboot or a no go? Don't touch it. It was fine with Kurt
well.
Russell.
See, now this is one because usually I don't like reboots, remakes, all this kind of stuff from a good movie.
Yeah,
It's just like, why bother? It was already good.
yeah.
But this is something that they actually can, if the right people do it and they come up with the right story, and it's not just doing the exact same thing that the first one did. But they can do something that looks better, with better effects. They're going to have to find a new place to land their glider in this one.
Yeah.
And, they should do something different with the concept. And
Mhm.
so it's not the president's plane goes down and he has to catch it. There's other stories you can do with New York City or Manhattan as a prison. That's a cool concept. They should do something new.
Mhm.
What I mean, there's Escape from Idaho, Escape from Montana. Why does it
No,
got to
that's
be
just
New
what
York?
the residents call living there.
I mean, come on. Like, there's plenty of opportunities to. This goes back to if it ain't broke, you know, like
Yeah.
what all the Hollywood, and we can go on forever. It's not going to stop. There's something. If there's something that was really good, if there's an opportunity to make things better, I'm all in favor.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just don't touch because it's so bad, forget it. But there's some there's examples of like, what if something could have been better, then do it. But when there's something's like pretty good or amazing, you
Mhm.
never want to see that again. And I think we all know the outcomes of this. I'd rather see something, if it's not new creative content, something that wasn't done well that perhaps could be redone in a better sense. But I think of that this movie, and I'm not at any means comparing it, but like these classics like Big Trouble in Little China, like when we're gonna hear that, we're gonna remake, like what are you doing? Like don't touch those amazing things, right? But then again, you see like a Blade Runner getting remade, and you see all these, Tron, and like
Well, but
what
then you have the ones like Conan,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like, okay, you might have had the right actor to
yeah.
replace Arnold, but everything else in that movie was terrible.
Yeah, that's why it's just like don't. Yeah, I'm not a fan here. Robert Rodriguez, he's had some stuff in his portfolio, but a lot of the stuff has not been great as of late, including
Yeah.
Spy Kids stuff.
Well,
Um,
and also he was responsible for a lot of the Book of Boba Fett
Yep.
and having, the Vespa biker gangs.
yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, if I look back, it kind of ended with Desperado, didn't it? Kind of
Yeah,
it was like El Mariachi Desperado, and it
yeah,
kind of,
Because then he went into the Spy Kids stuff, and then
yeah,
he was just making those cheap ass movies on a green screen with a bunch of kids
yeah.
and really cheap, bad special effects that he could knock out in, paying a couple guys and his home computer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah. Well, hey, whatever it is, it's always interesting whenever you do a remake, and it's hard to do it when it's a really good cult classic like that film. It because let's be honest, John Carpenter in 1981 just kind of did it almost close to perfection. Just leave it alone. Again, it's like I know The Rock was talking about Big Trouble in Little China. Just leave it alone. It
Well,
just let
who do
it
you
live
get
where it lived.
to replace Kurt Russell,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Snake Plissken is going to be a tough one to recast.
It really is. It really is.
It's
All
not
right.
Glenn Powell.